Everyone, John Fletcher here, ASD-N Mental Health Mentor, and what we're looking to do is offer up a weekly video where we go over some tips to maintain and keep ourselves mentally healthy during this evolving situation that we're in. We'll share it amongst our schools and they'll post it on their respective sites accordingly. And the tips are going to be simple, but things that do have a big impact on our mental health. So our tip number one is limiting our exposure to media and social media. So this is for adults and youth alike. The media has pretty much been taken over by covering the COVID-19 pandemic, which is fine. But if you tend to be a person who maybe worries a little bit more than usual at the best of times, this is when we have to be careful when we're consuming social media and regular media, because right now that's all that's on. If you put on CTV or CBC or CNN, it's 24 hours news coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic. So and what happens is worrying begets worrying. So if you're one of those, if you are a person who worries a little bit more in the best times, like I said, that worrying will just cause more worrying and that vicious cycle will begin, and that's what we don't want, right? We want to make sure that we're maintaining good mental health throughout this pandemic and this evolving situation. And especially if you're a parent or a caregiver or a guardian, you're leading the way. You're the model for the kids. So your mental health is really, really important. If you're making sure you're taking care of yourself, that's the best thing you can do for your youth and so on. So tip number two is keeping a routine and structure. Yes, I understand for all of us, or for most of us at least, routine and structures have been kind of thrown upside down, right? We're at home. I'm at home working from home. My kids are home. I have 4 of them, so it's a busy household. So routine and structure has been kind of thrown upside down, but we really need to make sure we're doing whatever we can to build back in some type of routine and structure. Our brain likes predictability. It likes structure. It likes consistency. It doesn't have to be every single hour of the day is structured, but I think having a daily routine of when you get up, have breakfast, have a shower, start your day like you would regularly on a Monday to Friday if you're going to school, if you're going to work. So home learning has been rolled out, which hopefully should add a little bit more structure into our day. But the key thing here, you don't have to belabor it, but just build in some structure to the day, Monday to Friday. Make your week a little bit more structured. You'll just feel better than just kind of going by the seat of your pants. So building some of that routine, that structure. If you're a youth, if you're an adult, this is important for everyone. So let's make sure we can build in some of that. Tip number 3, and this one is a little bit different, is trying our best to connect with others. Obviously, we have to adhere to physical distancing measures, but finding ways, the creative ways that we can connect with others. Picking up the phone, calling loved ones. This Easter weekend, hopefully, people created people came up with some interesting ways to connect with other people. FaceTime, Facebook Messenger, Zoom, Skype, whatever it is. Find ways to keep connected, because isolation, as we know, is not good at the best of times. But we need to find ways that we can stay connected with our community, with our friends at school, with our colleagues. If it's an email, if it's a phone call, let's make sure, try to build that in. I'd say on a daily, every day or two, we should be trying to reach out to someone, a loved one, a friend. So if it's students, I'm sure if you have a portable electronic device, that's probably not too hard to do. You're probably already connected already. If you're a parent or guardian, this one is for you. Make sure you're taking care of number 1, which is yourself. I know you care about your kids, you care about your students, your grandkids, your loved ones, but you need to make sure your mental health is number 1. Make sure you're doing whatever you can, that routine, that structure. If you tend to worry a bit, make sure you're limiting your exposure to screen time and media and so on. And remember that we're modeling how to deal with this. As a parent myself, I'm very cognizant of How am I modeling what sleep hygiene looks like, what keeping a routine looks like getting outside and getting some green time. What does that look like? I don't sit on the couch and tell my kids to do that and not model it myself. So let's make sure we're modeling good mental health behaviors, because our kids are more likely to pick them up. And also, conversely, if we're modeling not so good mental health behaviors, our little ones are more likely to pick those up as well. So with that, take care of yourself, right? And I know it sounds selfish to think of number one, but it's the best thing you can actually do for your loved ones. I always say, to be a helper, you need to be healthy, right? So parent, guardian, whatever your role is as a helper, make sure you're healthy. So that's it for our first installment of Mental Health Mondays. Like I said, we'll roll out a video each Monday. We'll actually get it out on Monday next week. And just little tips, things to work on each week, to be cognizant about, something to look forward to, some things to pick away at, and to make sure that we're keeping our physical distance and keeping our hand hygiene, but we're making sure our mental health is also a top priority. So stay safe, stay positive, and we'll see you next week.